Okay, this is interesting. This is actually from September 4th, but this is interesting. Bret Weinstein, this is from Fisher King. Bret Weinstein explains succinctly today on Rogan how our voting system is designed to be gamed. Right? Let's hear it.
Do.
Right.
Because for one thing, elections used to be different, as you remember,
Yeah.
right? First of all, you used to vote in person, and voting by mail was something you were very reluctant to do because you knew that if your vote got counted, it was going to be very late in the process. It wasn't really going to matter.
It was mostly for soldiers serving overseas.
Right, exactly. It was for people who just simply couldn't vote in person, and it never really mattered except in very rare cases. The disappearance of that and the normalization of voting by mail, the normalization of voting across a period of time so that you're not all voting on the same day, and the absence of exit polls. Right? When everybody's voting from home or wherever, you can't detect fraud by virtue of the fact that the count that came in from that precinct didn't match what the exit pollers registered.
Right.
And so, I don't think we are wrong to imagine that we have lost the ability to check whether an election is fair and that that's not an accident. That leaves the possibility open to cheat. And as you point out, they cheat in every other way. Are we supposed to believe that they won't do that because their patriotism is so deep? I don't see any patriotism to them at all.
That's an excellent point. Right? When you extend the voting over such a long period and you have all this mail-in voting, exit polling doesn't mean anything anymore, right? It really opens the door to, hey, we were behind, but suddenly we got 300,000 votes, which are 98% for our candidate. Wow, that was lucky. What good fortune we've had in this election. And obviously, I mean, you saw in 2020, nobody had the balls to, nobody who had the power to do anything about it did, right? I mean, once you have that massive media machine that's calling it, and then once you've got unbelievably most secure election in history, clearly not. It couldn't be, right? You can't just decimate chain of custody and claim that it's the most secure election in history. It's obviously, it can only be less secure. There's no way, it's not rational to say that. It's absurd. Drop boxes everywhere. You got places where you don't even have it's signature verification in some places. Some places, like California, people aren't even showing ID. Like it's an absurdity to say you've got the most secure election in history. I mean, there's a reason why every other, liberal democracy doesn't do that, doesn't allow this stuff, because it is clearly, obviously, explicitly dangerous, right? It's obviously, explicitly insecure. It obviously explicitly leaves open the door for at least manipulation, but certainly for outright cheating. To make it so that there is actually no way to verify, it tells you something that he came out so quickly and said that it was the most secure election in history. That tells you something. When he couldn't have possibly have had the time to investigate it to make that determination. Aside from the fact that obviously the changes in the way people voted obviously could only result in a less secure election. So that's a great point from Bret Weinstein, right? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.